It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
There it is, the brand new theme song from Josh Caterer of Smoking Popes. It is Car Con Carne, the world's only food podcast, recorded in a car. That car is my Mazda 3. I'm James Van Alstyne, sitting shotgun this week. Comedian Paul Farahvar.
How you doing?
Good. We're in Lincoln Park. This was your choice. For this week's episode, we're going to a burrito place. You insisted.
I insisted. I'm a big burrito connoisseur, and I feel that I wanted to share the wealth of my burrito place that I go to quite often.
Let me put it another way. I suggested, since we were going to go to Lincoln Park, I suggested going to Wiener Circle.
You did.
And you said no. Burritos are kind of my brand.
That's true.
What does that mean?
I talk about burritos a lot on social media because I think it's if it was socially acceptable to eat a burrito for every meal, I would do it. It's just not so, unfortunately. I mean, you can't do it, but I really enjoy them, and I feel like there's so many amazing places in Chicago to get them, and they're so different and unique everywhere you go that you got to try it.
So I want to get into the burritos and where we are for the show in a second. I want to talk to you, talk about comedy, talk about Laugh Factory, and the shows you do there. You know what I hate about podcasts, by and large? It's how they all open with some kind of shilling for money or some kind of sponsorship thing. All those NPR podcasts are the same. You know, we're looking for help and sponsors, and it's all very dry and boring. So what I'm going to do is talk about some sponsors of Car Con Carne.
Okay.
Just to be competitive. Specifically, Car Con Carne is on Patreon. Patreon is a crowdfunding website that lets you contribute to artists who make art and Car Con Carne. The idea behind Car Con Carne is every week we're going to a new restaurant and we're eating food in the car, we're taking it to go. It is not a cheap venture, and Car Con Carne could use some help. And there are some people who have boldly stepped up and supported Car Con Carne, and I want to personally recognize them and thank them for supporting the show. Dana Carroll-Ryle, Kimmy Rudolph, Andy Derer, John Flickinger, Dustin Ritchie, Michael Gebert, Katie Gibson, and Keith Conrad. Thank you, one and all. This podcast exists because of you, and if you like it, let a friend know. $1 a month can ensure the future of car-based food podcasting. So here, what's the restaurant you picked for tonight?
I picked Allende Burritos, or Allende Takehouse, whatever you want to call it. It's just Allende. It's they have two locations, one in Lincoln and Webster, which is right by me, and the other one is Lincoln on Fullerton. So,
yeah, I used to live in Lincoln Park. My first apartment was 1134 West Fullerton. I had to move out of Lincoln Park. There weren't enough places for college kids to drink. I needed to relocate.
Yeah. No, it's my parents dropped me off here like 20 years ago, and I just stayed like a creep. So I'm like I'm stuck here, unfortunately, for the time being. So. All
right, tell me, you do shows monthly at Laugh Factory?
Yeah. So I do shows all over the city. I'm not just at Laugh Factory. I'm at Zanies as well, and Riddles. I'm doing in February. But the main show we do at Laugh Factory, my show, is called Drink Date Laugh. It's the first Friday of every month, and the next one is January 1st. If this plays
and dating figures into your comedy.
Yeah, I used to have a show called Singles Only. It was every week. And a lot of people were showing up that were in relationships, just like kind of peeking in on it, and they wanted to share their stories. And they said, hey, why can't we be a part of this? And I said, you know what? Why don't we just make it open to everybody? Because everybody has dating and relationship stories, and it's pretty amazing. We've broken up some couples, and and so far the first week was really fun, and we've made couples too. I think.
I would imagine comics are hard to date.
Comics are definitely hard to date. It's a hard schedule to live where you have shows every night, so you can't really go to dinner unless you go to dinner at like really
Allende?
Early or super late. Yeah, Allende is usually where I end up on the date at 10:30, or it's the only thing open late at night. So
Charmer.
Yeah,
and I'm sure there's also the fear. If I'm a woman looking to date Paul, what if I end up in his act?
That's a lot of people think that when they hear that. I'm just like, you have to be really, really interesting for that to happen. I don't and something
Don't
weird
flatter yourself,
happens.
sweetheart.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, it's just there's really not a lot of stories that have ended up happening like that, unless it's like super shock value. And of course, if I do that, they know right away it's going to happen. Because it's like we both look at each other. I'm like, I'm sorry, but that's got to be
It's going in the show.
Yeah.
All right, let's break open these burritos.
Yes.
You ordered for me. You played the role of the man.
I did. Yeah.
You insisted on what I was going to have.
Right.
You
You opened the door for me, so I feel like we're even.
I did, and I should mention before we crank open these burritos, I opened the door for you to set up the microphone apparatus. My microphone apparatus somehow lost a part between the last episode and this one, so I was almost in a position where I couldn't record tonight because my microphone couldn't attach to the steering wheel. Because we are so close to where you live, Paul Farahvar,
Yes.
You were able to run across the street get a roll of duct tape, and we now have my microphone duct taped to a clamp, which is clamped onto my steering wheel.
Right. We're just two guys sitting in a car with all dark clothes, just with duct tape in our car.
Totally normal.
Totally normal.
But this again speaks to the need for Patreon. These clamps are really expensive, and I'll be rolling with duct tape for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It's a perfectly viable solution. All right, I can't even reach.
Okay.
I've got a microphone in front of me. So you insisted on the steak burritos.
Steak burrito, no sour cream. It's called the Paul Farahvar.
We have one straw because I dropped one somewhere.
Okay, that's fine.
So do you want the straw so
You
we
can
know
have
whose is whose?
You can have the straw.
I'm going to be the straw man.
The hot sauce is the key, which is...
How hot is it?
It's really hot, so you got to
So
be
I don't want to
careful.
do that then.
But it's the if it's on steak, when it goes on the meat, it's not as bad, and you have soda to take care of yourself afterwards.
But hasn't it been proven that soda doesn't actually take away the heat?
That's true.
Okay.
I actually didn't know you knew that, so I guess that argument is false. But you got to have
This
the
is a
hot
food
sauce.
podcast in a car. I know all this stuff.
Yeah, the hot sauce is the key. I mean, I wish without the hot sauce, it's just an above average burrito.
Now, we got these burritos to go probably 15 minutes ago.
Yes.
It is still
Steaming hot.
infernally hot.
Yes.
And, we're sitting here. It's Christmas week in Chicago, 2015. The weather's been cooperative. It's been warmer out, like abnormally warm.
Yeah.
I walked outside today to meet you outside Allende, and it was really cold. And I thought, oh man, I'm really uncomfortable. I need to bundle up. But every time I complain about cold this week, people say, well, think about what it could be.
Yeah.
Like, is it not okay to be cold, to say you're cold, if it's not as cold as it could be? I'm still cold, right?
No, you're right. They're just trying to remind you of the positive, the glass half full of Chicago weather.
Well, now, as a comedian, the glass half empty position is always the better one to take, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it works. Yeah, you gotta be depressed.
All right, the hot sauce is key.
Hot sauce is key.
Burritos are so not easy to eat in a car, Paul. You realize this?
Well, what were you gonna get at Wiener Circle? A hot dog? I mean, that's not gonna be easy either.
Yeah, but if you kind of brush off some of the toppings, you can get it in without too much incident.
It's true. When you take that first bite, make sure you're gonna get juice on the outside, so make sure you got it covered. So I like to put a little on top.
Okay. There's an art to
It's
this.
not your first rodeo, I know, but
This is drunk food. You realize this is drunk.
oh, no.
You're showing me this artful way to eat this $5 burrito, but this is really...
I eat it all the time. I eat it sober. And
It's perfectly yummy.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, perfectly yummy. I haven't really got to the hot sauce yet. A little concerned.
Well, it kicks a little.
I'm going to have to lean into it, which means I'm leaning right into the microphone. What is happening out there?
A girl just walked out wearing a Christmas outfit. Maybe it's a Tinder date.
That's the luckiest Tinder date ever for that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of, back in the day, I've lived here for a long time, but this place that we're in front of, he's got a bottle of champagne. That's an awkward hug, so they're
friends. They're friends. Maybe he's gay.
Maybe it's possible. But this place used to be all flight attendants that lived in this building, so it's like a party town.
She's not warm enough in that skirt.
No.
She can't possibly be.
Super short skirt. They're waiting for someone else, maybe? She just told them no to the bottle of champagne.
I have to work tomorrow. All right, sorry, I was...
Should we ask them if they want some duct tape?
Yeah. And some chloroform.
Yeah, here.
It's date 9 in Chicago. Merry Christmas.
We've been drinking all day, and we're eating a burrito right now at 8 o'clock. Here's some duct tape.
I was shopping at Mariano's this week, Sunday, and dude brought ice.
We're going to have a party there. 3 guys.
3 guys, and just her.
3 guys, 1 girl.
And as dressed up as she is, I mean, she looks cute.
Yeah, she's cute.
These guys completely didn't rise to the occasion.
No.
It's like, dude,
It's
pull up your
weird
pants.
situation. What is going on here? Okay.
I don't know. Actually, it looks like they're checking out a house. Like maybe she's a real estate agent.
Oh, maybe.
So I went to Mariano's,
Mm-hmm.
and I was almost done with my shopping. I was looking for Gruyere cheese for a mac and cheese recipe, and then they have that cheese section, which is lovely. Usually there are some samples, some kind of brie or whatnot. I find my Gruyere, turn around, my cart's missing. And I start flipping out, like, I know I didn't misplace my cart, so I start wandering the store. I mean, I was almost done. I was almost at the finish line. Like, I'd already been there for like an hour. I finally catch up to a woman, maybe 55, 60, pushing my cart. And I stopped her and said, "Excuse me, that's my cart." And she looked at me, looked down at the cart, looked back up again and said, "Huh, I wouldn't have bought this stuff anyway." She walked away. Now, were you in that situation? Wouldn't you say something like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. I'm such an idiot.
Yeah.
Holiday season, too much eggnog. What have I done?"
Yeah, what was she thinking? Or did she? What happened to her cart?
I don't know, but she put pita chips in mine. I've never liked pita chips. They're too hard.
Yeah.
If you want something to snack on with hummus, just go for the real deal. Go for the Kronos, the pita bread.
Agreed.
The hot sauce isn't debilitating, by the way. It's totally okay.
Well, that's good to hear. A lot of people freak out by it. Are you putting enough in?
Not the first time I heard that this week.
Huh.
Are you sure it's not still Flight Attendant Central over there?
It looks like it, yeah. Now there's a girl standing outside just waiting. I want to know what was that other situation.
I know. Everyone looks a little youthful and hot.
Like us in the late 90s.
When did you decide you wanted to do comedy?
Well, it was on a fluke. My friend had started doing stand-up. I encouraged him to do stand-up because I thought it was really funny, and he had done it a long time ago. A local comic here, Chris Bader. And I told him to enroll in Second City, or I encouraged him to. He was going to. And he said, "I'll only do it if you do it." And I said, "Okay, I'll take a class."
That seems like something you don't do solitary. Like,
Yeah.
You do with a friend.
And we always liked to hang out and joke around, so I did it. We ended up both liking improv a lot. And then we ended up taking more classes there together. We graduated the conservatory, did all that stuff. But in the meantime, we started doing stand-up on the side. And then he was opening for Bob Saget at a show. And I was backstage just hanging around with Bob Saget. And I cracked a joke, made Bob Saget laugh. He's like, "Oh, are you doing that tonight?" And I said, "No, I'm actually not going up. I'm just, here supporting a friend." He made me like his pseudo manager to calm him down because he was really nervous. And then Bob was like, "Well, just go up there and just do that anyway." I'm like, "No, I've never done stand-up before." And anyway, the short story is I pussed out and didn't do it. But the next day I did an open mic, and I had so much fun. I ended up doing it again the following week, and I won some open mic contests like the second time I did a comedy.
That's an interesting chain of events.
And then now I'm stuck in it. Yeah, like that's the longest version of it I can tell. But I don't know how it ended up. I always used to love watching stand-ups growing up, but I never thought I would ever.
Well, we're comparably aged, and I do too. And I still, like, when I get stuck in traffic, I don't want to listen to music. I listen to comedy albums.
Yeah.
I love listening to stand-up. But thinking about the Second City path, it seems to me, and I truly don't know, but it seems to me that improv and stand-up are totally different muscle
Absolutely.
groups.
Totally different. But they give you the confidence. I think they're related in a sense where you learn to tell a story and kind of act it out a little bit. Improv chops come into hand there. And I already kind of emceed a lot of stuff before I did stand-up. And I was in bands forever, so I loved being on stage. I loved having a mic in front of me, even though I wasn't the singer. Anytime I got an opportunity to talk or use a mic, I would get excited. Because you're a guitarist in the back, no one cares.
Which is true, because you were actually excited to do this podcast.
Yeah, that's right. I was like, I'll definitely do it. So, but yeah, I remember my older brother took me to see the movie Raw, Eddie Murphy, when I was like 6th grade. And I remember just being in the theater, not understanding like 50% of the stuff he was saying,
Sure.
but laughing my butt off. And then I just, I liked Andrew Dice Clay when I was in junior high.
Yep. Before you knew that it was wrong, too.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was before he was controversial, or super controversial, I should say.
Is it hard now that you do stand-up? Is it hard to watch other stand-ups? Do you find like you can't even... Because you either find stuff they do that's really, really good and it's intimidating, or stuff they do that really, really sucks and it makes you angry?
Yes, it's really hard to watch. And it's also hard to watch because then you're afraid that something will seep into your brain and then you might accidentally try to use it. So I try to avoid it. There's only a few comics that are not like my style that I'll watch because I know that I really enjoy them. But at the same time, it's really intimidating too. Like when you see someone like John Mulaney, I saw his stand-up and I had to turn it off because it was so amazing to watch him. I had to watch a different comic who I knew wasn't as good, and I was like, okay, that's cool, now I feel better. So
All right, so Laugh Factory, January 1st. So that's, people have had the chance to sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
The hangovers will be mostly gone by then.
it's a Friday night. Yeah, you don't have to get drunk. You want to take it easy. Don't want to go out to a bar again. It's a perfect combination. Come and hear people's stories. And we give away a $100 gift certificate every show this time to Fountainhead Restaurant, which is an amazing restaurant.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Laugh Factory is in the Lincoln Park area.
It's in Lakeview at Broadway and Belmont.
Right. This is totally a flight attendant paradise.
Yeah. I should just eat in my car all the time right in front of this building. We're at Lincoln Avenue. Should we give the address? I'm scared.
This is like a single guy paradise over here.
Yeah, if you're, 25.
Or a lecherous 46-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah. What goes on here?
I don't know.
It's like a boarding school.
It is a really nice, but yeah, I remember when I first moved here about 12, 13 years ago, it was all flight attendants, and they would all go to these local bars like Halligan's and stuff, and you'd see them. Didn't know names, but you knew they were flight attendants, which made them attractive.
If I were a flight attendant, I would drink all the time. Knowing what kind of animals people are on airplanes and how despicable and loathsome their behavior is.
You get to see the worst of people. You see the people at their worst.
At their absolute worst. The entitlement, the bad attitude, the...
Just fearful. There's a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
A lot of different... You look around that plane, and it's just not a happy place. Unless you're going to Vegas, then it's pretty happy.
Well, on the way there.
On the way there. On the way back, it's the worst.
It's dead silent.
Yeah.
It's not even bad. Like on the way back, it's just super
Miserable.
quiet. Lots of people with sunglasses on.
Yeah.
I remember the most recent time I flew to Vegas. It was a stopover to Boise. I was on business.
Okay.
Yeah. There were people drinking in the aisles. Like, the second we hit the air, like, one guy brought a beer koozie. Like, you
He's
can't,
prepared, yeah.
Can't trust that plane to keep the beer cold. I'm going to bring a koozie on board. I think that was really...
I used to go to Vegas for a few different bachelor parties and stuff like that, and I remember that the flights out there were some of the best flights ever. But coming back, they're the most miserable flights I've ever been on in my life.
I have never been to a bachelor party. True story.
If I get married ever, I will invite you.
Really?
Sure. Just so we can break your cherry, so you can see what it's like. It's really not. They're not all that great. I guess it depends on the age bracket.
Yeah, at our age, it's really well.
I'm over 40 now, so if I get married and if I have a bachelor party, there's gonna be like a lot of people in the mornings, like taking medication to not there's not gonna be Red Bull vodkas. It's gonna be ulcer meds.
At this age, it's like, well, you guys want to order a couple apps? Maybe
Yeah.
some cheese. Wait, all right, so the Christmas girl's back. Is she sending one guy away and bringing in a new?
No, there's more people coming to the party. I think
it's
she's
a
having
party.
a party.
That's what it is.
So far it's been 6 guys, 1 girl. The girl is dressed in red pants. This one's not as attractive as the host.
She's cute. She's got the girl next door thing going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have different tastes.
It is a total dude fest.
Yeah.
So she's hosting it, and it's a sausage fest.
Girls tend to invite more guys than
Why is that?
less competition. I would think. I don't know.
This is a fascinating social experiment, Paul.
I like it. I'm gonna come up with ways that I can be in front of this place more often because I'm never hang out in my place ever. So that's good to know.
All right, so Allende on Lincoln Avenue by Webster, just a little bit north of the Orange Julius.
It's a Dairy Queen only. Oh no, it is an Orange Julius
Yeah.
as well. Yeah,
You can get both.
You can get both.
And I believe you can get a pineapple Julius.
You can.
So I thought it was great. The price is definitely right.
Yeah.
I don't feel gross. Sometimes I go for a burrito and I feel kind of disgusting afterward. I don't have that self-loathing, what have I done feeling.
No, there's other options if you want that.
Plenty. In fact, just keep going down Lincoln.
No, even if you go to Allende,
Oh.
you could have gotten more toppings to.
Or even if you hang a right on Halstead up ahead, I'm sure you can be well taken care of.
Yes, there's a lot of places that can ruin your night.
All right, so if we want to keep up with you, Paul, we can see you on the 1st, as established.
Yes. I have a Facebook page, which is Paul F. Comedy. And then I have my Twitter, which is Twitter and Instagram, which is Paul Farahvar, Farah, V as in Victor, AR.
I've spelled your name a million times. Every time I've done it, I've had to look it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you put anything Paul F. Comedy or Paul Far, like an effort that you make, they'll say, well, did you mean this? So it's getting there. I'm getting Googled enough where it's coming up enough from that or from my music days or from law or whatever. So people are looking me up. So that's good.
That's right, you do law.
I do law, yeah.
Want to talk law stuff? Want to talk torts?
Sure, yeah. We should have a tort session to see if you guys need a lawyer. You know, my website is bettercallpaul.com. No, that's not true. It's just Paul Farahvar. You can find me there if you need a lawyer too.
Torts. What do you practice?
I do litigation and entertainment law, 2 different fields. Litigation, if you want to sue someone or you got sued, give me a call. Or if you have a contract from a record label and you want me to review it, or a licensing deal, that's something I do as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a little of both.
All right, so the websites, the social media, the live show. Is the Laugh Factory the live stuff on the calendar for right now?
Yeah, all the stuff that I'm actually there on New Year's Eve too. Where I'm going to be I think I'm the last comic of 2015 before they ring in the new year. So I'm at Laugh Factory quite often. But if you want to see me anywhere or see where I'm going to be in your area, it's paulfcomedy.com. I'm going to be in Vegas February 15th.
It's a good time to get out of Chicago.
It is.
And go to the desert.
I leave on Valentine's Day. I'll be there for 8 days. 8 days is a long time to be in Las Vegas. I will tell you that.
Do you gamble?
A little bit, but I try when I'm working. I try not to, just because
Because you're not getting rich when you're
Yeah.
getting paid to do comedy.
Yeah, you don't want to lose the money that you're making by being out there, because that would defeat the whole purpose of a week. But
I always give myself $100 if I'm going to be there for more than a day or so.
oh yeah,
That's it.
actually, I won last year. I was there on my birthday, and I just randomly was like, I'm going to put $1 in one of those big machines that had the sevens, and I got 3 sevens, and I got like $200.
Seems like you should get more.
Yeah.
Like a high five, a hug, a dancing girl.
Well, it was ringing forever. I was like, "Wow, this is going to be great."
I made
and then
it.
It was like it was $200, but it was still enough that lasted me for 2 days there.
Yeah, you're probably thinking as those bells are going off, I'm going to take my own plane back to
Yeah.
Chicago. I don't need to fly commercial.
I knew it wasn't going to be that, but I thought I would have enough to make it rain for at least 3 minutes.
I've never made it rain. A bachelor party, that's when we do it.
That's at my bachelor party. You can make it rain.
We'll order some nachos and some jalapeno poppers.
We'll have Allende cater it, so we can have the hot sauce, and then you can make it rain with the napkins at least.
Maybe cobble enough money together to get a retiree to dance for us.
That's fine. We could do that. That's probably what it's going to be like if I get married. It'll be a late.
All right, Gladys, come on.
Yeah.
We're playing the
Gladys is-
Smiths.
Yeah.
Come on out.
It will have to be the Smiths, maybe some Kansas and Asia. Rush. What else can we bring
I'm
from
okay
the 70s?
with Rush.
I'm a big fan of Rush.
Bring a cougar out to a Rush song, and I'm there for that party.
There's no girl that is a huge Rush fan, unless she's from Canada.
I have been to a few Rush concerts in my life, and I can honestly say all the women that were there were guests of men. You don't see a big group of girls pouring out of the party bus.
No, there's more women at like any sporting event,
Right.
or any. Yeah, there's no women at a Rush concert. You don't go
You see
there.
more women at pro boxing
Yes.
or MMA
for
matches.
sure.
Yeah.
Anything but Rush. I think they know that, and they embrace it as they
You
should.
see more women at Dick and Mustache Con than you do at a Rush show.
Yes, for sure. Or Star Wars. I would say it's Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars. Star
Was
Wars.
there girls there?
Tons. But, I mean, we're at a point. Can we all agree that this idea of nerd culture doesn't really exist? When Star Wars and Avengers movies are the biggest movies at the box office, nerd culture is pop culture at this point.
Oh yeah, marketing has embraced that. That wasn't the case when we were younger. But
Certainly not.
No.
That was get the stuffing knocked out of you in the playground
Yeah.
material.
yeah,
All right, Paul, I hope you had fun. Thank you
I
for
had
the
a
duct
blast. Yeah, for sure.
tape. You truly saved the day. You saved the podcast.
I did.
It's
very
a Christmas
resourceful.
miracle.
Yeah, I'm here for you.
All right, so again, patreon.com/carconcarne. Carconcarne is also on Twitter at carconcarne, carconcarne.com. Happy holidays, Paul.
Happy holidays to you, James.